All right, everybody, welcome to the Recon channel. It's your boy P, and I'm here for another review. And this time I will be reviewing Snowfall Season 4, Episode 1, entitled Re-Entry. So with all of our reviews, we always start with with a score. And our scoring system is 0 to 5, 0 being trash, and a 5 being a perfect score. Now, this episode was a really good episode. I gave it a 4. It was definitely a great episode to establish the foundation for this up and coming season. It allowed us to catch up with characters, everyone from the previous season that carried on, and just the vibe of what we're gonna get for this entire season. So now, as far as this review, I'm not doing a traditional, recap or scene to scene kind of review. I decided I would just take my top 5 scenes that I felt that stuck out to me, that were important to me, that having those scenes, breaking them down somewhat, will allow me to give broad strokes of the episode and not doing a deep dive into the episode and making like a 45-minute video. So with that being said, now before I give the top 5 scenes, I also like to, the title of the episode is like very keen with this because it's Re-Entry, and basically, what the Re-Entry meant for me was it was basically Franklin's re-entry into the game, back in the business, and he had been gone for a while, based on previous events from the previous season. So he's been out of commission for several months, it would appear. And I like about the episode, what he did was like what any CEO or somebody in charge of a business would do. If they've been out of work for a while, they're going to check in with their subordinates, and they're going to check their different departments and make sure, is everything still running? What needs to be fixed? What needs to be worked on? How's our costs? Balancing so like Franklin did all that kind of stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah. So with that being said, let's jump into my top 5 scenes. So starting with number 5. Number 5, it's probably the scene out of these 5 that I picked of the least amount of substance. And this scene was Teddy going to see Avi. And I kind of picked it because Avi, if you've watched the show from the beginning, he's just a crazy, unpredictable individual. And he's always great. He chews up the scenery when he's on screen. But, basically, essentially what happened was Teddy, Avi is a part of the organization, and he had a job to do. And he was supposed to have a shipment arrive to, I believe, Panama, and it did not arrive. And so Teddy decided to track him down. And, Avi's being Avi. He's always over the top. And he gives this story about they got intel that there was a Nazi in the area. And as Jews, it's kind of their duty. They were going to take him out. Well, long story short, Teddy ain't having it. It turns into a back and forth, and Teddy just pulls out the blammer, pow, shoots number 2 guy. Didn't shoot him, but let a round off by his face and blew his eardrum out, I'm pretty sure. And he made it very clear to Avi that, look, we pay you an exorbitant amount of money. When we ask you to do something, we need it done. I want you to go down there and get my guns. So, he kind of put him in his place. So, but like I said, it was great seeing Avi. And so we'll move on. Number 4, scene number 4 for me was Teddy and Franklin meeting, just to see these guys. That thing that stuck out to me is you start to notice that they've become very weary men. I think it's even worse for Franklin. Franklin's only 21 apparently, but he's been shot, so he's limping around using a cane, Whereas Teddy's smoking now. He wasn't doing any of that. Franklin calls him out on it, and he just, like I say, he just looks weary, because I can just imagine the weight and the stress of, what he's doing. It's getting to him, and they're sitting down and talking, and basically Franklin has asked him, because of just the impending war that is coming between Man-Boy and Scully. He's asking, Teddy for help, and Teddy flat out tells him, look, man, there's things I can help you with, and there are things I can't. And helping with the gang war is one of those things I can't help you with. And so, but he does give him some advice. He basically tells him that, hey, you supply both of them, just pick one of them and have them double cross each other and see where the chips fall. And so Franklin kind of takes that in. And so, like the way they were, I don't think they'll ever completely 100% trust each other, but you can tell like they both have quite a bit of respect for each other. If you go back in early seasons to where they are now, they quite have made some strides. So that was scene number 4. Scene number 3 is the first meeting between Leon and Franklin. This is when Franklin is finally out moving around. He's touching base with Leon, and Leon's being Leon. He got him some chicken head in there. He's smashing or whatever, and it is what it is. And they get to talking, and Franklin basically tells Leon, I understand you didn't want to work for my aunt, but look, man, I'm back. I need you back, with this war coming. And basically, he's telling him, man, Leon's like, man, you just need to stay out of it, man. You get involved in that's just going to come back on us. So he's giving him some sound advice, like, kind of stay out of it. But he asks him to come back, and, he's shocked because Leon's kind of like, he tells him no. He's like, I got my thing, I got the project, I'm running that. And, yeah, man, I can't go back to you and be your driver. And so, they're still cool, but you could just tell. And I think it's one of those things where, like, Leon is not happy with being in Franklin's shadow. He wants to be his own man. So that's kind of like what I took from that. But it's unfortunate because, like I said, they tight, man. They've been rolling together since they was little kids, and all this money comes in, and they're starting to. You can see the fractures. So, scene number 2 for me was another Leon Franklin scene. Leon shows up because Lou's having this. Aunt Lou's got the club. They having a New Year's Eve gathering, and Leon shows up, and also is there, and basically Leon is triggered because if you've been watching the show from the beginning, they boy Kevin, he ended up being killed by some of their people, and Leon was pissed about it, and so they was going back and forth. And also it's like, hey, I was invited, but they end up breaking. They go in the back room, and everybody's going back and forth. They pulling guns on each other and shit, and finally they just it's done. Like, Leon airs his grievances at Franklin. Franklin airs his, and they're at a standstill. And finally, they're like, "Man, I'm done with you. I ain't working with you no more." Franklin's like, "Fine, find your own connect. You done." And so they split. They done, and it was tough to watch because, man, they was boys. They was tight, and I think what's gonna happen with that situation is, I think Leon, he's feeling himself a little bit, and he thinks, I'm in the field, I'm in the streets, I know how this works. Franklin, he's just a money man. He's just worried about the money, this and that. He don't know what it's like being down here. And I think what's gonna happen is once Leon has to get his own connect, he's going to find out that it's harder than he thinks because, yeah, Franklin is the money man, but at the same time, he's got to make sure everything, the logistics, everything is running all right. The money's coming in, people are getting paid, workers are happy, customers are coming in. Like, there's a lot that goes on with that, and I think Leon, he's going to realize that, and I think they'll come back together somehow. They're gonna have to end up working together some way or another. But yeah, it was a scene that kind of hurt though. Watch is like, man, damn, the team is, because Kev died in the first season, and then now the rest of the team, they done broke up. So it is what it is. And so the number one scene for me was kind of another heartbreaking scene, was between Franklin and his dad. Now, Franklin is supposed to meet up with Peaches, Jerome, and the crew because they're basically setting up to ambush Scully, and he's got to Franklin's got to get to the spot, but before he leaves out the front door, his father stops him, and he was just telling him, "Hey, I'm thinking about getting the old VHS out, Enter the Dragon." And you just see Franklin start to break down, and as he's telling the story, like, "Oh, me and your mother, you remember we used to take you to that movie, and you used to think he was Bruce Lee, and when you karate chopped Leon off the porch." And he's like, "Hey son, I'll get some popcorn, we'll sit down, old-fashioned movie night." And you just see Franklin wants to stay. He goes back and he turns around, hugs his dad, and he thanks him, but he leaves because he got to handle his business. But it was a heartbreaking scene because the father deep down knew his son what he was doing, where he's going. He was just hoping that he could use that memory to reel him back in. But at this point, there's no going back. You can never go back to that again, and it's sad, but it is what it is. So with that being said, like I said, this episode was a great setup episode. It was just a reset and then set things for this season. And like I said, it's gearing up to be, I'll put it to you this way. There's going to be some deaths on both sides because this war between Scully and Man-Boy is going to be popping off all season. And Leon and them, they're gonna get in, but it's just gonna be a bloodbath. So I'm here for it. So this is P from Dark Recon, and I'm signing out. If you're just stumbling on our channel for the first time, please give us a like, subscribe, and please get in the comments. Tell me, hey, if you have some theories or something I missed, please let me know. Because like I said, I'm here for it, man. I'm going to be doing these reviews for the whole entire season. So, well, until the next one, we'll talk to you later. Peace.